Meeting of the Syracuse Industrial Development Agency. We'll start with a roll call of the board. I'm Kathy Murphy.
Ricky Brown.
Dirk Sonneborn.
Thank you, Dirk. Ken Kinsey, who is also a member of the board, is not able to join us this morning. Proof of notice was properly served, and we have one public hearing scheduled for this morning on Gateway Syracuse. We will begin the hearing with a reading of the notice by Sue.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. Notice is hereby given that a public hearing pursuant to Section 859A of the New York General Municipal Law will be held by the City of Syracuse Industrial Development Agency on the 29th day of July at 8 a.m. It will be held at 233 East Washington Street in the Common Council Chambers of City Hall, Syracuse, New York, in connection with the following matter. GW Syracuse LLC, or an entity to be formed, requested the agency undertake a project consisting of the acquisition of an interest in 5 parcels of land located at 706 to 08 East Washington Street, 712 to 716 East Washington Street, 705 East Fayette Street, 709 East Fayette Street, and 701 to 03 East Fayette Street, aggregating an approximately 1.3 acres of land in total, such parcels to be re-subdivided, the demolition of all 3 existing structures, cleanup and remediation of contaminated soil on the land, the construction of a 7-story, approximately 346,000 square foot mixed-use building containing approximately 283 residential units, including approximately 96 one-bedroom units, 102 two-bedroom units, 4 3-bedroom units, 19 4-bedroom units, and 62 studios, of which 12% of the residential units will be designated and reserved for tenants meeting the income requirements, all in accordance with the City of Syracuse's zoning ordinance. There will be approximately 6,000 square feet of first-floor retail, amenity space for residents, and both a surface lot to accommodate approximately 75 cars and a subsurface parking structure to accommodate 107 additional vehicles. The acquisition and installation in and on the land and facility of furniture, fixtures, and equipment, the granting of certain financial assistance in the form of exemptions from real property tax, state and local sales and use tax, and mortgage recording tax. The appointment of the company or its designee as an agent of the agency in connection with the acquisition, construction, equipping, and completion of the project, and the lease of the land and facility by the agency pursuant to a lease agreement, and the acquisition of an interest in the equipment pursuant to a bill of sale from the company to the agency, and the sublease of the project facility back to the company pursuant to a sublease agreement. The company will be the initial owner or operator of the project facility. The agency will now hear all persons with views with respect to the proposed financial assistance to the company or the proposed owner or operator, the location of the project facility, and the nature of the project.
Thank you, Sue. Anyone wishing to speak in favor of this project, please come forward, state your name and address for the record.
Good morning, James Trasher, engineer for the applicant from CHA Consulting. Who did a great job doing my entire presentation and what we are doing. I figured Brian Bouchard wrote that because he goes in a lot more detail than I do, you know. So scenario is Allman, Fayette, Washington, proposed project. We have been in front of the Planning Commission for approvals based on modifications as we are going into the building permit set. There are a few doors and window modifications along the street front to accommodate our change in unit makeup from what was initially approved with the Planning Commission. So parking on site, 7-story building, as read in the notice. It is part of a brownfield cleanup program, so we are working through that with the New York State DEC. So once we get through the culmination of that process, we're trying to match the approvals with the City Planning Commission, permits, and then the benefits that we're seeking from you all so we can start construction and deliver this building in 2028 is our goal. So any questions?
Questions? Comments? For James? Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor of this project, please come forward, state your name and address for the record. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Hearing none, the hearing is closed. Next item on our agenda are the minutes, approval of the minutes of our last Board of Directors meeting held July 15th. The minutes were included in our packet. I would accept a motion to accept the minutes.
I'll make a motion.
Motion made by Ricky. Second, Steve. Thank you. Any changes, comments, concerns? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention? Motion carries, yes. I would note also, as Dirk said, we held a Finance Committee meeting on July 22nd and reviewed the Gateway project in great detail, and the Finance Committee did recommend a positive recommendation for consideration by this board. The minutes will be included in our next round of information and packet. First item, GW Syracuse. Sue.
Morning. Before I start on the resolutions, I would just ask those folks who came in a little bit later, will you please make sure you sign in the back so that we can include you in the minutes? Thank you. The first matter on the agenda with respect to the GW Syracuse project, I won't repeat the project outline as we just heard it in the public hearing, but the first resolution is your inducement resolution. I would like to note for the record that seeker was completed by the City Planning Commission. They notified us of their intent to act as lead agency. We did not object to that, and we adopt their finding, which is that the project will not have a significant environmental impact. And so they issued a negative declaration. The inducement resolution authorizes the undertaking of this project. It helps to fulfill the need created by the housing shortage that the city is experiencing. It appoints the company as your agent for purposes of undertaking the project. It authorizes the execution and delivery of the agency agreement attached to the resolution, which is your standard agreement between the board and the project developer during the intervening time between the time you authorize a project and the time it closes. It authorizes state and local sales and use tax exemption in an amount not to exceed $3,886,400 and mortgage recording tax exemption in the approximate amount of $642,000. I will note, as you heard in the public hearing, that the project does include set-aside units for those meeting the income requirements under the zoning ordinance. And other than that, that sums up the inducement resolution.
Any questions, comments? Hearing none, is there a motion?
So moved.
Move to approve by Dirk. Second by Ricky. Questions, comments? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Next resolution is the pilot resolution.
Yes, so in your agenda, you have the pilot resolution. I will note that this is the first, I believe, pilot schedule adopted under your new UTEP. It is a 20-year schedule in accordance with the terms of your UTEP. It requires that the company continue to pay 100% of real property tax as the property sits now. And the schedule, as I noted, is attached to the resolution.
Thank you. Any questions on the resolution for Sue? If not, is there a motion? Moved by Dirk. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Ricky. Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the final resolution for the project.
The final resolution authorizes the agency to execute and deliver all of your standard lease transactional documents to confer the approved benefits to the project.
Any questions or comments on the resolution? Is there a motion? Motion made by Ricky. Is there a second? Second, Steve. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Thank you very much. James,
you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda, Syracuse Lodging Associates, also known as the Onondaga Hotel Project.
Good morning, everyone. The item in the agenda today is a seeker resolution with respect to this project. You will recall this is the project that encompasses the Emblem Park parcel as well as the garage adjacent to it. Eventually, the garage will be demolished and they will develop a 9-story, 240-room hotel with a 300-plus car parking garage attached to it. It will be a hotel and convention center. It will have a ballroom. It will have meeting spaces. And so, given the size and scope of this project, it was determined that this was a Type 1 project under seeker. This agency previously appointed itself as lead agent for purposes of conducting a coordinated review. As a result of that, you issued letters to all identified involved or interested parties by the applicant. The applicant submitted to the agency a full EAF, which was reviewed with the assistance of CNS engineers who helped facilitate the environmental review. You have seen in your packet at Exhibit B to the resolution all of the factors that were considered when they undertook the review and the findings that they will not negatively impact in a substantial way all of the items outlined specifically in Exhibit B. If anyone wants, I certainly can go through those, but I know that you've reviewed the agenda and it is attached to the resolution. So unless someone has questions or would like to walk through those, this resolution makes a finding that there is no significant environmental impact created by the development of this project.
Thank you, Sue. I will note also the applicant is present, as well as Brian from the engineering firm that handled the seeker. Brian, if you want to just come up and, I don't know if we missed anything, add anything.
I want to turn down an opportunity at the microphone. Brian Bouchard with CHA, engineer on behalf of the applicant. We did work with the applicant and his counsel to address a couple of comments on seeker on the way, so we've provided all of that documentation and don't believe that there's any outstanding questions as it relates to the seeker determination. So, anything else I can answer? What the timeline is? Timeline for construction? Well, probably as soon as possible. If you know, Dave, we do still have to go through the site plan review application. So once the seeker is determined, that'll open up our window to get to the Planning Commission. We do have a meeting or two tentatively scheduled, depending on the outcome here, for the September sequence with the Planning Commission, and then our construction documents would be ready for building permit shortly after that. So trying to get our building permits in place so that we can at least take the garage structure down sometime before the end of this year. There's a lot of site prep involved, and obviously the garage is in such a condition that it's kind of a you know, a structural issue more or less. So trying to get that down as soon as we can get our permits submitted. So.
I was mostly interested in the garage. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
Thanks, Brian. Any other questions? No? Comments? Steve? Good? Great. I'm assuming, Sue, we want a vote on the seeker resolution finding a negative declaration.
Correct.
So moved.
Moved by Dirk.
Second.
Second by Ricky. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Thank you all very much. Congratulations. Next steps. You're welcome. Next item on the agenda, Sue, is an application presented by Swanson Fulton.
I just want to say, without Eric here, doing this double duty stuff, get over that baby already and get back. We've all had.
I don't think he's listening.
Next in your agenda is a resolution to authorize a public hearing. The agency has received a new application from Swanson Fulton Street LLC. They are looking to undertake a project at 311 Gannett Drive. They're looking to renovate the existing 3-story building into 75 apartments, with an additional 24 indoor parking spaces and 52 outdoor spots. They are seeking financial assistance in the approximate amounts of $805,000 for state and local sales and use tax exemptions and $101,000 for mortgage recording tax, They are also seeking a pilot, the amount of which is to be determined once the cost-benefit analysis is undertaken. The total cost of this project is just about $22.5 million. And again, this is simply to authorize a public hearing.
Representatives and the applicant, I believe, are here. If there's anything additional to add. Tim? You're good.
Tim's like, nope, I'm good.
Yeah, you're good. Okay. Okay,
You offered him a microphone and he said no.
that's good. Questions? Before we take a motion to authorize the public hearing at our next meeting in August 19th, I believe it will be,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Motion?
Make a motion.
Motion made by Ricky. Second? Second, Steve. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Thank you all very much. Last item, which is not on our agenda, but I would like to ask if there's time, which I believe there is, for a quick executive session for the purposes of the disposition of real estate. So if I could get a motion for that, it would be greatly appreciated. Motion made by Steve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Ricky. All in favor? Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Thank you. I will note for those attending and those watching or listening, we will only take action when we return to adjourn. There will be no other action items on our agenda, unless I missed something. Sue?
No, that's correct.
Anybody have anything else? No? Great. Okay, we will go into executive session and return shortly. Thank you.
Kathy, do we turn these off while we're going?
I can.